So this video is over long division of functions. I also have one that I did last year, so you're more than welcome to watch that video. I think the examples might be similar, some might be different. I'm not too sure. So looking at this, example 1, we want to find the quotient Q of x of A of x and B of x. So we're given what A of x equals, we're given what B of x equals. Quotient is just another word for the answer in a division question. So what we're wanting to do is we're wanting to take A of x and divide it by B of x. So what it looks like is I put A of x on the inside and B of x on the outside. You also need to make sure whatever's on the inside is in standard form and you're not missing any terms. So I have an x squared, an x, and a constant, so I'm good. It's in standard form. How we go about this? You're looking, what can we multiply x by to get that first term, 2x squared? Well, that would be a 2x. 2x times x, now I'm going to distribute it to both of these terms on the outside. I get 2x squared. 2x times 2 is a positive 4x squared, just a positive 4x. I need to make sure when I do this, I line it up under its like terms. And from here, I'm going to switch colors. And this is going to be your favorite part of the whole video. You're going to draw the line and change your signs. Okay, I circle it that way. It stands out that I changed the sign. I'm going to write it, draw the line, and change the signs. I'm going to switch back to my normal color. And I'm going to add down. So 2x squared minus 2x squared cancels out. A negative x minus 4x, that is a negative 5x. And I bring down the next term of a negative 10. Now I ask myself, what do I need to multiply this x by to get a negative 5x? Well, that's a negative 5. Negative 5 times x is a negative 5x. Negative 5 times 2 is a negative 10. And this is where I change my colors again, and we draw the line and change our signs. So I add down again. Negative 5x plus 5x, those cancel out. A negative 10 plus 10, that cancels out and leaves me with 0, which means I have no remainder. Okay, so my answer, Q of x is what it's asking for, so I'm going to label it Q of x equals 2x minus 5. And I got that from the top part of our division house. So that would be my answer I'm looking for. Okay, looking at example 2, I want to find f of x divided by g of x. I'm given the two functions. I need to make sure that f of x is in standard form and it's not missing anything. So I have an x cubed, an x squared, an x, and a constant. Perfect. I can go ahead and divide these. So I have a 7x cubed plus a 16x squared plus a 2x minus 1. And I'm dividing it by x plus 4. So here's our process. We need to figure out what we need to multiply x by to get a 7x cubed. That would be a 7x squared. 7x squared times x is a 7x cubed. I line it up under its like term. 7x squared times 4, that's a positive 28x squared. I changed my colors for your favorite part. Draw the line and change your signs. Okay, so 7x cubed minus 7x cubed cancels out. I have a 16x squared minus a 28x squared. That leaves me with a negative 12x squared. I bring down my next term, plus 2x. So what can I multiply x by to get a negative 12x squared? Well, that would be just a negative 12x. Negative 12x times x is a negative 12x squared. Negative 12 times 48, or sorry, not 48. I'm saying the answer before I even ask the question. Negative 12 times 4 is a negative 48x. I switch my color of my pen. And I draw the line and change the signs. Change it back. I add down. Negative 12x squared plus 12x squared cancel out. Those will always end up canceling out. And 2x plus 48x is a 50x. And I bring down that last term of a negative 1. Now I ask, what do I need to multiply x by to get a 50x? Well, that is a positive 50. 50 times x is a 50x. 50 times 4 is a positive 200. Change the pen color. And, yep, you guessed it. Draw the line and change the signs. So 50x minus 50x is 0. They cancel out. A negative 1 minus 200 is a negative 201. So I'm finally done. But this time I do have a remainder. So how I write this is first I'm going to take this top part. And I have 7x squared minus 12x plus 50. My remainder is negative, so I have a minus. And I put my remainder, 201, over what I divided by, which was x plus 4. And this is f of x divided by g of x. So this would be my answer. Okay, looking at example 3, I want to find m of x divided by n of x. I look at m of x, I have an x to the 5th, an x to the 4th, an x cubed, an x squared, an x, and a constant. Ooh, there's so many of them. But it's in standard form. I'm not missing anything. So here we go with this process. So I'm going to rewrite it. I'm dividing by n of x, so that's going on the outside right there. And here we go. Instead of an x this time, we have an x squared. So x squared times what gives me a 6x to the 5th? Well, that would be a 6x cubed. Remember, when we multiply variables, we add the exponents. So when I multiply 6x cubed by x squared, I get a 6x to the 5th. Then I take 6x cubed and I multiply it by a negative 1. That gives me a negative 6x cubed. So I have to make sure I write it under its like term. So a negative 6x cubed. I don't have anything under that x to the 4th term, so I'm just going to put in a 0 as a placeholder. And I draw the line, and I change all of my signs, all of them, every single one of them. Don't forget one. So the 6x to the 5th minus 6x to the 5th cancel out. Negative 5x to the 4th minus 0, that just stays a negative 5x to the 4th. A 1x cubed plus a 6x cubed is a positive 7x cubed. I drop down that next term. Okay, so here we go. What do I need to multiply x squared by to get a negative 5x to the 4th? Well, that would be a negative 5x squared. So negative 5x squared times x squared is a negative 5x to the 4th. A negative 5x squared times a negative 1. Two negatives make a positive. Two negatives make a positive. So it's an x squared term, so I'm putting it here under the x squared term. Change my pen color and draw the line. Change the sign. Again, this was just a 0. And I changed my signs. So here we go again. Those add, those cancel out. 7x cubed minus 0 plus 0, it doesn't really matter. It's going to stay as 7x cubed. A negative 2x squared minus a 5x squared is a negative 7x squared. I bring down my next term, which is a negative 4x. So what do we need to multiply x squared by to get a 7x cubed? That is a positive 7x. 7x times x squared is a 7x cubed. 7x times a negative 1, that is a negative 7x. And here we go. We change the color of our pen. Oh, again, that's a 0. Draw your line. Change your signs. So those cancel out. I get a negative 7x squared. Negative 4x plus 7x is a positive 3x. I bring down my last term is positive 3. Oh, I'm messing up stuff, and I didn't change my color, so let me fix that so I can keep it consistent. Sorry about that. So fix that line. Here we go. So I'm going to re-add them. Again, a negative 7x squared, a positive 3x. I brought down this term right here, and it's positive 3x. So what do I need to multiply x squared by to get a negative 7x squared? That would just be a negative 7. So I get a negative 7x squared. Negative 7 times 1 is a positive 7. This is where I switch the colors. Hopefully I don't forget to switch back. Draw the line, change the signs. Again, that's just a 0. Change my signs, switch back. So here we go. Those cancel out. The x squareds, bye-bye. We have a 3x, and a 3 minus a 7 is a negative 4. This is now my remainder. So I'm just going to use an R for remainder. So my final answer, m of x divided by n of x equals 6x cubed minus 5x squared plus 7x minus 7 plus my remainder, which is 3x minus 4, all over x squared minus 1. So this whole thing is my answer. I have one more example for us. Okay. This whole night I've been talking about putting it in standard form, making sure you're not missing anything. Well, here's your example showing that. So if I look, I want to divide this by this. I notice this first one's not in standard form, so I go to put it in standard form. That means my cube term goes first, my squared term goes second, and if I notice, I don't have a y, so I need to add in that y term. So it looks like that. Divided minus 3. So now that I put it in standard form, I added in what was missing. I can go ahead and divide them. So I have a 2y cubed minus a y squared plus a 0y plus 25. I get y minus 3 here. And so here we go. What do we need to multiply y by to get 2y cubed? 2y squared. So I multiply 2y squared times y, I get 2y cubed. 2y squared times a negative 3, that is a negative 6y squared. Change the color of the pen. Draw the line. Change your signs. I told you that would be your favorite saying in this video. So 2y cubed minus y cubed, those cancel out. A negative y squared plus a 6y squared, that is a 5y squared. You bring down that 0y. That's just a 0 as a placeholder, but it has to be there. I'm trying to change the color. I'm just jumping ahead. So what do we need to multiply y by to get 5y squared? That's just a 5y. 5y times y is a 5y squared. 5y times a negative 3 is a negative 15y. And here we go. Draw the line. Change the signs. We add now. 5y squared minus 5y squared, those cancel out. 0y plus 15y is a 15y. I bring down the 25 plus 25. And now I multiply. What do I need to multiply what do I need to multiply y by to get a 15y? Plus 15. 15 times y is a 15y. 15 times a negative 3 is a negative 45. Yep, you guessed it. Draw the line. Change the signs. 15y minus 15y cancel each other out. 25 plus 45, that gives me a 70, which is my remainder. Okay, so I'm going to take this and add my remainder to it. So I have, oops, flip the page back. I have a 2y squared plus a 5y plus 15. My remainder is positive, so I put a plus sign. 70 over what I'm dividing by, which is y minus 3. So this right here is my final answer. So this video is over dividing functions using long division. There will be a video using synthetic division shortly.